Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai on chapter 257, or you could call it the 7 Deadly Sins. Now, this chapter right here, wow. And that ending, wow. Next chapter, wow. I know. It's just like, things are really getting hectic right now, and the next chapter is really starting to is gonna blow up. That's for sure. So if anything else, let's go. We have to it that Merlin tries to tell Arthur to stay with them and try not to die, but apparently Arthur cannot stay open, and then he ends up shutting out shutting his eyes out or something. And we have to it that Merlin tries to keep him alive by saying, "I'm not done with you yet, boy. Muster up the very last of your strength and destroy your own heart." I'm like, what? Oh. Anyways, we have to it that we see a chapter page where Merlin meets Arthur and she trained him for a while, and that's when he pulled out Excalibur. And then we have to it that a knight comes by the boar's head and tells the 7 deadly sins that they need to plan out a strategy right now. But we have to it that they'll be on their way while Cat is talking to Hawk, and Hawk tries to keep him calm right now and keep moving forward right now, but pick yourself up. But Cat, on the other hand, that face right there that he's making really freaked me out. I remember seeing that in the Raw version. Oh my gosh, he's like beyond angry, and he goes like, why? How can this happen? How can this be? What the just happened? And we see to it that Merlin is levitating Arthur and tries to talk to him and says, and Merlin ends up talking to Elizabeth by saying he was a young man of unfathomable talent and character, and still unknown magic hidden within him. Is like he had a destiny going on, but in the end, I wasn't able to draw out his dormant potential. If only I had succeeded, then just maybe he would have lived. Merlin, on the other hand, tells Arthur, "Weren't you going to show me a world I've never known before, Arthur? Where is your soul now? Is it before my eyes? Is it still in your body? Or is it in the afterlife? Or have you been absorbed in the holy sword of Excalibur and it's already begun to choose its next warrior? Even if that young one is no longer with us, I will be there to protect ye." No, actually, this is where Escanor is going like, I'll be able to. We have to it that Escanor maybe wants to go in there and maybe cheer Merlin up right now, but apparently he tries to figure out what words to say to Merlin. He says, even if that young one's no longer there with us, I'll be there. No. And then he tries to say, "It is unfortunate for what happened with King Arthur, but you always have me by your side." But we have to it that Elizabeth asks Merlin, like, "Arthur was someone completely irreplaceable to you, wasn't he? Just as Meliodas is to me." But Escanor, who's the sin of pride, and he's always been the king of pride, decides not to go cheer. Decides against the one that talks to Merlin and leaves. And we add to it that Merlin tells Elizabeth, like, the life of a human does not normally span that much time at all. What kind of face I should make, or exactly how I should feel at times like this, I've forgotten by now. Now all I see is a darkness engulfing before me. And we have a past where Merlin actually met Elizabeth, and she actually kissed her on the forehead. And she says, "You have to forgive me, though. I don't have anything to give you right now, even though I bless you." She even remembers when Elizabeth actually kissed Merlin when she was in her true form on the forehead. And she says, "No matter how lonely I felt, this little spell always made me feel at ease." And she actually ends up tearing, actually shed one single tear, which is to my shock, because we have to it that Merlin explained, like, it's been 430 years since I cried, and not since Meliodas cooked one of his special demon frog liver cakes. And we have to it that Merlin says, "Come on, let's head to the castle and figure out our strategy. Though it doesn't rival your skills, the goddess's brainwashing abilities have no effect on me," which we know why. And we have to it that Elizabeth says, "Don't push yourself too hard, okay?" And Merlin declares to Elizabeth by saying, "No, even if I run myself into the ground, I swear I will free you from your curse and stop Meliodas from becoming Demon King. I will not allow myself to lose any more people precious to me than I have to. And we have to it that Deanne's like, looks like she cheered up a bit. And King's like, well, Escanor's the one who looks down in the dumps. Which we know why, you know? We all know why Escanor is always down in the dumps here and there. Well, the reason why he is down in the dumps. That's if you are up to date with the chapter. We have to it that Merlin is making is strategizing what to do against the Demon Clan right now. And we have to it that that there was a talk between Sariel and Tario talking to Escanor about having Miles Grace or something, and Escanor's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm in a bad mood right now. And Merlin's like, can you stop the chit chat? And then Escanor's like, okay, I'm sorry. We have to it that Merlin says, okay, first the defense force will be stationed here to protect our position at Leonis to the bitter end. The search and destroy force will make their way south towards Camelot, clashing with the Demon Clan's armies head on, destroying any trace of them. We'll take the minimum amount of people possible to form the assault squad that will launch the direct attack on Camelot. So we have to it that there will be a defense force at Leonis that will defend it no matter what, while there's a search and destroy force to make their way towards the south of where the Demon Clan is at Camelot and destroy any trace of them should they come their way. And we have to it that the assault squad, which is something that they will go at, they will launch a direct attack on Camelot. And we have to it that Hauser says, okay, Hauser, Dreyfus, and Grimoire will be defending Leonis no matter what, and the search and destroy force will be the largest of our forces. So Guild Thunder and I will take command for the Holy Knights, etc. And we have to it that Ludoshel says, okay, Charo and Sariel will command the search and destroy force as well on behalf of the 4 Archangels. And now for some good news, it seems the Giant Fairy and the Fairy King's force will be sending their own armies to join us in the fight. So it looks like to me that prep me up for the Holy War once and for all. But Merlin also explains that the assault squad will be made up of 3 people. Escanor, Lord Rudishel, and myself. Which Merlin explains. This is to lower the casualties from Zeldris' piety commandment to a minimum, as well as to prevent free for all bedlam or something. When we have to it that Ludoshel asks Elizabeth in a very cruel manner, possibly, which the way how I look at it, Lady Elizabeth, I thought you should be. I thought you sure for sure you'd be joining the assault squad. But Elizabeth goes like, I will not be joining I will be joining the search and destroy force along with the 7 deadly sins. Even Ludoshel just says, hoo, you can't bring yourself to see your lover turn to evil slain before your eyes. I'm thinking about mine, Ludoshel, I swear, man, if you continue your freaking sadist comments and that sadist comments, I really want to rip your throat out of your freaking I want to rip your vocal cord out of your throat. Sorry, I mean, Ludoshel is a total a-hole, okay? I'm pretty sure if you're up to date with the series of Taizai, you will understand why. But we have to it that I think Sariel goes like, can you stop it, Ludoshel? He goes like, what did you just say to me? And Tarmiel says, stopping Meliodas from finding the remaining commandments is a vital role. That's right, and besides, we need Lady Elizabeth's support. And Elizabeth thanks Tarmiel and Sariel for their help. And Ludoshel's like, you know what? That's fine, but I'd like to request a little change of plans. I want Hendrickson assigned to me as my bodyguard. And Dreyfus is like, what did you just say? Don't be ridiculous. With you into that mass of demonic energy straight into the enemy's stronghold at Camelot, what the hell's gonna happen? And besides, Hendrickson's already one of the commanders of the defense force. You can't just go decide that on your own. And we have to it that they said, surely you can understand. Surely you can take someone else instead. This is what Hendrickson himself wishes. I'm thinking about mine. Oh my gosh, Hendrickson, if you die in this war, man, this is really going to be upsetting because the goddess's brainwashing is really, really terrible. Not to mention, Guild Thunder is going to go with Marguerite too, or Ludoshel, by saying, Ludoshel, Hendrickson is going to protect you, isn't he? Well then, I'm going in to protect Margaret then. And Ludoshel's like, of course, you're more than welcome to. After all, we are allies and allies should work together. I'm thinking about mine, you Ludoshel, We had to that the demon army is starting to make their freaking attack right now and causing major slaughtering positions. But we have to it that they go like, well, it looks like all the clans are finally letting their bloodlust run free. Then it's shaping out to be a real holy war. And we have to it that freaking Cusack and Chandler's like, well, the goddess's seal is almost removed. We're all ready to go. And Chandler's like, well, it looks like we might have to go all out napping. And Cusack says, I believe you're right, Pacifier. We may be getting too old for this, but let's show them what we can really do. And Cusack and Chandler transform into their true forms. So it looks like to me, the old wicked veterans show off their specialities mere moments away from the decisive battle of fate breaking out. And thus the Holy War begins. Next chapter. So now that Arthur's gone, and there's no way that Merlin's gonna let Elizabeth die, the Demon Clan versus the Allied Army, the battle is posed to begin. Now, this, I'm pretty sure we all know that this holy war that happened many years ago, 3,000 years ago, happening again must have been built up for a while now. I mean, ever since Hendrickson, who was controlled by Fraudulent to open the 10 Commandments seal, not to mention the demons, the God seal starting to break open, I think it was inevitable that another war was about to begin. So yeah. So in this chapter right here, it's just a preparation for the setup or preparation for the holy war, the new holy war to begin. Not to mention seeing Chandler and Cusack coming into the war, getting ready to fight once more into some crazy adversary. Not to mention the strategizing to try to protect Leonis, the search and destroy team to take on the demon army. Not to mention the assault squad that Merlin, Escanor, and Ludoshel will be combined with, along with Gil and Hendrickson, since they are coming along to attack Camelot directly. One thing for sure, it's gonna be another bloodbath. I don't know what Meliodas and Zelchus is going to do. I don't know where Estarossa is either. And we all know Estarossa is a wild card to play. So we don't know what's really bound to happen. But it's going to be really, really hectic from here on out. So whatever happens, it's going to get really, really crazy. So not to mention, Cusack and Chandler are going to come in to fight too. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. So I'm off for Zoro, people. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!